You are now listening to the podcast for geeks and the stuff they love, where each week we'll talk about everything from anime to movies, games, and prop collecting with the people who create and love it. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Vince.
I'm James.
And this is your Geek Fix.
So the Avatar, well, it's not called that. I get that because Avatar are blue people. And that's why they changed the name before they
Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
That's right. Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Last Airbender, whichever piece of the. And luckily, we're not talking the movie that came out. This is way better than that. Nobody's stopping to wait for somebody else to hit or just dropping without being hit. Nothing like that happened in this one. Honestly, I binge watched it last week.
Okay.
What was fun about that for me is I've also been in communication with Paul Sun-hyung, who's in it. In a lot of it. Like, he's in almost every... I mean, he's in probably more than any other actor in that whole show. He's
the best
throughout
actor.
it. Well, and honestly, I mean, like, it's funny to watch him because... But then I'd be going online and video talk. Well, I type, he talks. It's weird. But the reason that he told us before he couldn't do things was because he had all these things that were going on. This was one of them. He was filming this. He's also been doing a lot of other things. He's been doing a lot of things in Canada. He's a major sports aficionado. He will not miss a game, and because of that also uses up a lot of time for half the year. He's a collector. And so for that reason, it's been hard. And every time I contact him, I mean, we've been shown clips of him saying, "Yeah, we gotta get together." It's just hard.
Like a year or two ago, even, I think.
It's always been rough, and now we're closer than ever. But it's going to be such a last second thing. So I've been anticipating that I'm going to have to send Vinz an email of like, you better be ready to be up at 3:00 in the morning because tomorrow morning. Kind of thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be pre-last second, but he is going to make some time for us. It's going to have to be last second is the way that's going to work. But excited about that. That'll be a lot of fun. I mean, he is so much in his channel. By the way, if you haven't checked out Paul's channel, he doesn't go by Paul Sun-hyung Lee. You Bitter Asian Dude is what he goes by on YouTube. I forget what he goes by on the
Angry Appa.
That's right. Yeah, which plays into the TV series that he was in, but yeah.
Well, Avatar also has an Appa, which is
true. Yeah.
I had an Appa figure once, and I drew like angry eyebrows on it, and I said, "We have angry Appa at home."
The one that he's probably referring to is from the Kim's Convenience. Store. Because he made
series.
this before he was even picked for this show. He's a perfect. Everyone that they picked, I felt like I know because I've talked to my son. He disagrees with me even. I know there's people that are going to watch this and going to be like, "That was a horrible show," or whatever else. I mean, I watched the series, and I was an adult by that point. By the way, I watched all of Airbender series, Avatar with the Avatar series. Stuff. Back in the day, I watched the whole thing. It was great storyline. It was great, everything. I liked it a lot. I feel like I did sit through the movie too, which they obviously had no reason to make a sequel to. But this, I feel like this was pretty good. I get where people are saying that they don't like, this or that about Aang and how they wrote him slightly different, or some of the things that they were trying to do with the movie. Or with this current series, I mean, it's going to be different. Yeah, true. But on the flip side, I mean, I don't know.
they got. I haven't seen. I only saw the first episode.
You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
so the thing was that the original creators somehow left the production a while back, and one of the guys who was like the main story guy basically said that we had our creative differences. Right. We're gonna leave now, but it doesn't diminish the value and the fun and the coolness of what the product is. It's just that we had a different expectation of the direction we were going when adapting this. And I think basically any adaptation of a book or of an existing series from one medium to another, you're gonna have to have some concessions Like the same thing with the Lord of the Rings movie versus the books. Some stuff doesn't translate well from one medium to another. And I also think that if you're going to do it the same way all over again, then why not just watch the original? So they have to do something new. They have to do something different. Of course, it's going to sell more. I mean, no publicity is bad publicity, as they say, or like there's no such thing as bad publicity. But from what I saw in the beginning, I mean, I do have to recollect, like, okay, how different is this from the animated series? But on the other hand, I mean, it's a thing on its own, and it's really well done, I think. Yeah.
I had to think about it because the other thing that came out, that we talked a little bit about was the One Piece live action, and the trick is. And remember, I haven't talked about this for a while, so for those of you that don't know, I used to be involved in screenwriting and script doctoring. That was what I did before I went into my current profession. But, what happens is you come to them with a set of scripts. This is your first draft. They come in a certain color, by the way. Every print of a script comes in different colors based on the phase that you're in. And then, after that, you have the company itself that will then say, well, this is how many episodes we'll give you. And they'll change that too. And they'll cut it back sometimes. So even during the phase of production, you can have where they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to give you 2 episodes less. Wow. And I know Netflix tried to give them some freedoms, but because of finances also, I think they also cut them back.
That's Amazon, right? Or
no, this is now Netflix.
Oh, this is now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, which,
we spoke
also
about Fallout
did the One Piece. Yeah. We've been on fun. But, they also did the One Piece thing and stuff. But and that was a problem with One Piece because the pace, it changed the pacing. I was expecting to see more of that with this one. I felt like, I mean, honestly, episode to episode, still, remember, this is an animated series that went on, I don't know how long. I should have looked that up before this. It was on for a while. There's a lot of episodes in there. There's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of characters. Every single one too. It was episodic, and so for that reason, like it's hard to tweak and cut something down. I felt like so far, having watched this through to the point where this one ends, and it's gearing up for the next one. I feel like the timing was pretty good. And again, I get that there's going to be people out there that are going to be like, you're completely wrong about that. That's fine. You can write that.
yeah.
I know you will. It's okay.
Yeah. Write it down in the comments.
Right. I mean, on the flip side, I because I'm keeping in mind that story, it's if I have to tell a story, imagine being told the story of Star Wars, for example, right? When I say first 3 episodes, what I'm really saying is 4 through, 4 through 6, right? And you've got to tell it to somebody in a sitting. It's not going to look the same, but you also wanting that person to be a fan. You want them to learn the thing. You're using a different medium. It's going to, this is what that we got. And is it faithful? I feel like the costumes were really faithful. I feel like a lot of the storyline and the points of it, the belief systems, all the things that were in it. I feel like the characters, the people, the actors that they picked, Paul looks exactly as he should look. I mean, he is that character. I thought he played it better actually than the cartoon version. The cartoon version, I kind of always felt like he was a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah. But there were two
really
voices,
did that
I think,
well.
2 actors.
Did they for the animation? But I mean, at the same time, beyond the acting, it was the storyline wise, they just kind of played him a little bit. Because they had more time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
but he also wasn't a major character.
Yeah. It's also a cartoon, so it has to be exaggerated. You can't go, unless you're doing The Mask with Jim Carrey, you can't have over-animated people running around in a very serious setting with people being torched
I don't
alive.
know. In the cartoon, too, keep in mind, too, when this show was made, it's after the fact of the full series and being able to look back on it. When they made the cartoon, season to season, they probably didn't know at the very beginning that he would be one of the major characters or his role overall. You can tell. They're looking at him. He's the one whose voice they also use to tell parts of the story. So he's a major part of this. thing, which he wasn't technically, I think, in the animation.
No, I think in the first few seasons, it's very, unless like the whole. No, I'm not going to spoil anything, but his involvement gets bigger, and I think what you say is true that they didn't know he was going to be such a success because it was just one character with some funny lines and some Confucius say wisdom, kind of thing, and then it turned out to be like more of a mentor, more of a guiding factor.
Yeah. Well, and you find out who he actually was before he, right? That he was this horrible. Or he did some bad things back in the past and stuff, So
the whole redemption arc. And
you're kind of getting this in this show. You get that near the beginning. I mean, everyone keeps on making comments about who he used to be without ever telling you who he used to be. You just know he did some bad things and stuff. I felt like, and it's been a while too. I mean, I think it's good sometimes also where you step back from it. You haven't watched it for a while, so it's kind of I didn't refresh my memory by watching it first, but honestly, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very well done. I wasn't focused on the main characters. Maybe that's part of it. I was focused on the story as a whole. The biggest complaint that I heard from people that I've seen online is related to the fact that they feel like Aang, like in the cartoon, he was more about, I don't want to be this thing. I want to play. And it's his playful character that that's that playful person that he's supposed to be that becomes, what he is, and he has to have that. Whereas this one seems like I've got this big heavy thing on my shoulders right off the bat and stuff. I didn't see that 100%. I think he kind of went back and forth, but I think
it's a bit more realistic though to have like a kid that age handle world shattering literally events that. It's not going to be well informed. It's not going to be very thought out. It's not going to be crystallized as a pure statement or a pure way of acting, I think. And I think in that way, it's if you have a series cartoon, the narratives are going to be very spelled out, and it's going to be very like emotions are going to be on the top of the surface, and it's going to be very, very emotive and everything. And I think having to translate it to actual people and also the fact that, they are cutting some corners kind of by speeding up the timeline, of course. But I mean, Peter Jackson said it best because I watched the Lord of the Rings documentary a while back. He says like, okay, we skipped the whole Tom Bombadil story in Lord of the Rings, but the story is about Frodo finally putting the ring to rest and having the whole saga end. Does this deviation attribute to the fact that this is going to happen? If no, then we're going to cut it and we're going to focus on the main story. Because in the books you can have it at your leisure, you can do whatever you want, you can internalize it and everything. But for a movie or for a TV series, there's only so much you can put in front of a viewer before it gets either boring or tangential. And I think they did it pretty well with as far as what I saw from the first episode. I think they did a pretty good job in making the things count. On the other hand, I'm also like, okay, why does the wind temple act so dumb against fire? Because they've been training their whole lives. And
you got to keep watching. There's something to that comes up later on. It'll make more sense if you watch the whole thing. But the thing I will say, here's something else that probably people will criticize it on, but I think was smart, especially from a creation side point and also a shortcuts side point, is the original series was written with some Asian ideals to it. And white actors and stuff like that. It's not so much about that. I'm not making some kind of weird woke thing. What I'm saying is what they decided to do, which was smart, is okay. So we're going to use the Fire Nation's going to be, we're going to use Koreans, and then we're going to use people that are from that are more the Arctic based cultures, and we're going to use the Japanese culture for this one. So because the benefit to that is, now I can instead of coming up with some certain things or having to always keep in mind a bunch of things world building wise, I can literally say things. I can just be like, we're just go with Japanese culture stuff here, and we'll just do that.
Oh, yeah.
We know, and with all the knowledge we have already about that, and we know that people that watch this, I can also, like you said, insinuate it instead of going into a lot of, oh, well, we got to explain these things. Like, people already know this, generally speaking. So there's that. Yeah. We're taking care
of
bound
to
stuff.
There's bound to be an Earth tea ceremony. There's bound to be stuff, like that going on.
Yeah, those are still in there. The thing is, I mean, like, before, I think the reason why not having that kind of might have ruined the original one is, like, the only thing that separates these people or why they are angry with each other stuff is, well, this one does fire, and that one does water, and that one does this. And now they've expanded that a little bit more to, well, but there's also all these, this group really believes in that you should fight and this and that, and this group believes more in, being able to talk through things, and we work things this way. There's more of these, there's these cultural things that actually are true in the world, and again, they don't have to invent it. It's stuff that we kind of already know, and then use it in there, and also use it as why does it matter that this kid's father is, why is he still sticking with this when his dad's a jerk, stuff. Well, there's reasons for that. And we don't have to explain them because you already know them. So we just move on and go from there and stuff. I liked it. On the flip side, I was supposed to do a whole thing last night online with somebody about the Fallout series coming out, which, we only have so much that we know about it. But, it's a similar thing we talked about before One Piece and this.
War never changes.
Yeah, war never changes. But you know what I mean? Like this is either going to be
until the fire people attack.
Yeah, they have separate cultures. But at the same time, this is going to be a movie that either people are going to, a series that people are going to either be like, well, no, this is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have a group of people that are going to say, this is horrible. I hate Fallouts, or I hate, Amazon, and I hate that people are trying to make a real life version of this. Or you're going to have the group that has, oh boy, I've got a whole side story on this now that I think about it. Or you got the group that says, this is great. It's great to be, because we want to see it real life. Like, this is why we went to the Fallout event. This is why people went down to Texas last week. This is why, all these things, because we want to see this happening. We want to feel more connected to our world, right?
We want to see the devastation nuclear war can bring.
Yeah, I want to see what this would look like, because we all have in our minds what certain things should have looked like in real life. I had fun doing the clips that we did in the 3 Pip-Boy videos, even though they were so last second that I did them. That I loved doing, just going out, finding places and things, doing things that kind of put me inside the world. That's always going to be fun. Along those lines, there is a pretty well known now fan of Fallout who made a series back in the day. I think it was 10 years ago. How long ago he did his first video? Am I wrong on that? Let's see here. Here we go. I've got it on here. But
insert name here.
Yeah, insert name here. Here we go. His and the link to and he had this channel too that kind of just died. Like people still went and visited it, but it wasn't turning out things on it because this was what he did. And
it's called Massive Damage.
Massive DMG. I think you still keep that going, but at the same time, here we go.
I've got my caps
ready. So Zack Finfrock.
Okay.
It just says years ago. That doesn't help. I think it was 10 years ago that he turned out a fan series. It had multiple episodes. They were kind of a comedy more than anything else, but a drama situation. I've also seen some other fan films that have been pretty good, but this was a series, had a big following. He had actually big actors in it. Before some of them before they became big actors, but most recently people have heard this because Punch Props did their version of the Nuka-Cola gun, which they supplied the props for this series. And including some of the ones he had done in the past. This was around the same time. I released
They were
this.
definitely the first. They were definitely the first. It was an old project.
Yeah. So the first old project. Ours was too, actually, by 4 years. But at the same time, yeah, I happened to release mine before Bill released his video on video. Even though, you know, we talked about it for a while ourselves, but at the same time, and he's commented back. He's actually made comments about our video and
really?
things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Positive ones, I hope.
No, they are. I think initially, I mean, we did jump on board on trying to, so we did get involved in this, and we just a little bit too late in relation to this Fallout series that the fan-made one. No, he did. He wrote several comments actually to us. You want to hear one?
Yeah.
Let me get into it here.
I love it. I love him and his channel and the stuff that he does. I mean,
I know, you know, and I've tried for a long time. I even tried at this point because I'm like, hey, you know, he knows who we are. We've connected. He also replied to us on X, formerly known as because we also kind of did something to him on that. If you go into his video, you can look at a bunch of comments that are to us as well. And so there's several of you. I know it's several people that listen to this channel and watch this channel. Because throughout these comments, there's your Geek Fix. Oh, I love your finish you put on there. Your Geek Fix just recently did the project like this as well.
But better.
And he said, "Oh, that's spectacular on one of them, but then on another one, let me see, where did the one go? This is the best one that he wrote. He says, yeah,
I wish I was like Jeremy.
Do that.
That's what he says. Like, I wish I was as cool as Jeremy.
Here it is, right here. He wrote, because one of the comments was, "Did you see the electric version by your Geek Fix? You should collaborate." And then he wrote, "Yeah, they linked the build to us on Twitter. It's so cool." So I mean that's cool, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and no please don't leave brutal, weird comments on his channel, please. That's really
be respectful.
But at the same time, you know,
that's for me to do.
That's right. Yeah. Let me. I would love to either collaborate with him or also interview him. I mean, I tried to reach out to him for quite a while now, and made several attempts. He never responds to my emails or anything.
I think. I mean, he's quite busy, even though his channel doesn't show that much. I mean, if you just subscribe to his channel, he has a lot of Patreon and all that stuff going on.
They've stepped back quite a bit. I mean, like, you know, so he hasn't done anything with. I mean, he commented on this. He hasn't done much with Tested for quite a long time. That's because of COVID kind of kicked that off. They had this big maker space and, they plan with that. And then, it turned out this was also partially related to COVID. I think, they decided it just wasn't feasible and stuff. Right. He wasn't able to turn out videos as frequently. And so it just kind of, things have kind of changed.
Life
I
gets
think,
in the way.
Them. Yeah. It does. I mean, we know how that is. But I mean, going back to the original thing, you can go, I think right now you can start watching. I think he's already posted the first episode of that fan base series. And when I say fan base, I mean, he has his own fans now. It's a continuation of that original series from that long ago. So he also tried to create it as, well, what would 10 years later in Fallout look like?
Okay.
And my character, what would they look like? So, when the original series, it was like, this guy's fresh out of the vault. He, he's kind of a doofus compared to everyone that's around him. And, he picks up these two, I will say too, his, some of his makeup actually was better than what the TV series looks like it's going to have, but I don't know. I can't say that in advance, but I mean, there's people have already commented about that.
The clothes look a bit weird.
Yeah. Well, that's specifically, so he has a ghoul companion, in this show. And then, so, I mean, and he did it very good. It's very lighthearted and things. It's an enjoyable, a lot of, kind of short episodes. But you can go watch that, I think now, on his channel and I'll try and put the link below. But I mean, this is kind of a year with all these things coming out, props coming out. The Fallout 5 game, is now in its works. Well, it's. I mean, I don't know how much to say about that because you get information and they have best intentions. I don't know what's really going to happen, but at the same time, there's a lot. This is a Fallout year for sure. And then we got in November. I'm definitely going back. Maybe we're doing something special actually at this point from what we've been talking about. For there.
Also, feel free to donate any money to us so that I can go as well.
There you go. You can. There is an option. I say on our channel for donating money if you want. If you donate money, sure, I'll give it to Vinz to try and come out, or just to survive, just get by. Whatever, Vinz buy some things that.
just give him a bag of tissues. So he can cry.
It's all good. I'm hoping this will be pretty exciting. I hope it'll be like last year. It was so much fun, and that video also
you might have
some
come out there as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Sounds promising.
As far as the video for the New Vegas video will have hopefully come out by the time this video comes out. I don't know. If it does, I also have posters, movie posters, by the way. So if you were actually there, everyone I interacted with is in the movie poster, and it's
cool.
These posters look awesome. If you saw, I did like a test to see how well I can generate something. If you saw that in the community section, it looks pretty awesome. I mean, it looks good enough. Like, you have to check it out, Vince. Check it out right now. Check out the
click
in the community section. Trying to get into
that looks cool.
Channel. Does that look at like one creature on the one side too? It's like, dang, man.
It's a bit more like Mars Attacks.
It is. But it's kind of cool. No, the actual poster is looking really good, and it has all the people that were there in it and integrated and stuff. So I'm planning on handing out those posters in person this year. And so, if you're in the poster, I'll give it to you for free, of course. But fun things, fun times, and we're looking forward to. We want to know what your comments are. Let us know down below. Everything you thought. Comments. I don't care. Go ahead and write it.
If you've enjoyed this podcast and want more, stay tuned for that. But also check out our channel. Join the community on YouTube that goes by the same name, Your Geek Fix. Be sure to check out Vinz on Twitter at massivedmg_ and on his YouTube channel, massivedmg. Check out James at Mr. Malto4 on Instagram and the Replica Prop Forum. We also want to hear from you, so be sure to send your questions, stories, and other projects to yourgeekfix@gmail.com. In the meantime, this has been Your Geek Fix.